Welcome to Chatting the Pictures. My name is Cara Finnegan, and I'm a writer, teacher, and historian of photography.
And I'm Michael Shaw. I'm a writer, a psychologist, and also publisher of Reading the Pictures.
These photos from space are more than familiar when we're looking at weather, especially massive storms. But we've hardly seen anything like the image of Tonga's Hunga Tonga Hunga Hapai volcano that practically shook the world.
This photo was taken from a weather satellite by the Japan Meteorological Agency via the AP. It shows a massive undersea volcano erupting in the Pacific island nation of Tonga on January 15, 2022. It was assumed to be the biggest volcano eruption on the planet in more than 30 years and sent tsunami waves as far away as Peru, the US, and New Zealand.
While the eruption of the volcano itself is visually dramatic, to me, this image is also all about those yellow outlines. Those are outlines of land masses. So those are islands, places where people live, people who were directly affected by this dramatic ocean event. For me, I think what's important about that is that if this image didn't have those outlines, we might be inclined just to think of this as one of those cool aerial views from space, like the kind of thing that astronauts on the space station and like Scott Kelly used to post. Images that highlight the beauty and drama of what it's like to see the Earth from space. But here, the threat, literally outlined in a warning color of yellow, really predominates.
Yeah, along those lines, it's interesting that an eruption of the volcano in 2009 actually created two new islands. So we're talking about something with an amazing amount of force. And then also, I'm so interested in scale with a photo like this. You would think if we were looking at, say, a hurricane image, you would not be able to make out the kind of detail that we can here. But if you look, you can see where there's actually the land is actually spewing from the ocean, and you can start to see the outer waves of the tsunami starting to happen.
In being able to see those things, the image gives you a glimpse into the extent of the violence of this event. Geologists say that if you had seen this up close, it would have been also a really shocking display of light and sound. They described it as having thunder, one news story called volcanic bellows. So when you look at this image and when you see the drama of particularly that origin spot of the volcano, it really invites you to think about how images also cue us to other senses.
It's also really incredible from a metaphorical standpoint. The parallel, for example, to a nuclear explosion and the sight and awesomeness of a mushroom cloud. However, most photos of atomic blasts are taken from the ground or an airplane, not from a satellite. So again, this picture speaks to a much larger scale. The explosion actually was 7 miles high. Another metaphor this evokes, at least when I first saw the picture, and this is kind of maybe a strange association, but it really evoked a flower for me. If you just look at that detail of the explosion, and I don't know, that's quite a contrast when you think about the force and intensity of the blast compared to something as delicate as that. What's also striking in our technological age is how the satellite image is about all we had to look at for almost a week. Because of the damage to a fiber optic cable, images from the ground weren't even available till about 5 days later. That's also incredibly unusual in this particular age and demonstrates the real fragility and volatility of our planet right now.